your invoices, because we don't even send you a notice till you're 90 to 120 days past due.
Like,
So
that is
maybe
something else you should be checking if you're this great business.
you should be checking your invoices and being like, why is there a balance forward? What, and like contacting us and being like, hey, I updated my credit card. We need to get that updated so you can get paid. Or going onto the website and doing it yourself. Like, we have stuff for
No.
auto pay. I still open it up just to make sure.
Proactive.
Hey. Like I get it. Like I'm never mad at the people who like miss a month because I've missed a month. Like I missed a month with my credit card and lost 12% interest that was replaced with 24% interest. It was terrible. It was in 2009 and it was my honeymoon and I forgot to pay my credit card before I left. And that was my rude awakening when I got back. And it was before the whole like Obama intervened and like, no, stop messing with people's interest rates.
Okay, I can't be arsed with Twitter because it says whose number. There's a phone number on here I don't recognize.
Me, because I just signed up for Twitter and I haven't really used it since.
No, it's like on the Grills account.
Huh.
And I don't recognize it. It might have been... I'm going to try to delete it.
What's the number?
Well, the area code is 508.
Nope, not me.
Nope.
Yep, not me. It might have been our old Google Voice number. And we let go of that anyway.
True.
So I'm just going to delete it.
Okay.
And we can worry about adding something to it later.
508 area code.
So...
Yeah.
Southeast Massachusetts.
I bet it was our Google number.
I think it was a Google number.
That probably makes the most sense. Another side thing, people who call in and leave voice messages, but they don't actually, like, tell you who they are. So I've gotten very good at looking up their phone numbers to try and figure out who the heck you are.
Yep.
Ugh.
Why is this? Why isn't...
We are live, by the way.
Oh, ha! Well, I'll stop complaining about the hand that feeds me.
How did I do?
No names were mentioned.
No names were mentioned.
Am I subbed?
How did I do that?
I'm not sure. We need more subs. We have a goal. Come on, people.
I see. Commercial time.
Miro. Miro.
I'm so confused. What? That's not how that works. Ah. What?
What?
Oh.
Did you break your crochet?
For a second, I think.
Only for a second. Are you making a banana?
Yes.
Aww.
Banana.
Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. I don't know if that's anybody else.
I remember.
I remember.
They came on before Sailor Moon, which is the only reason I remember.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I think I had a kid the right age.
So I'd be sick on the couch and I would just watch like all the little kitty cartoons. But that's how I got Sailor Moon, so it was alright.
Okay, well, I'm hosting, right? And
yes.
I believe we've got the audio, the audience will hear it, just you guys won't, so. Oh, and what the hell? Our Twitch, like, our banner, jeez, OBS, is like up off the screen. What is up with that? It would be good for people to see our freaking, wow. It's so out of frame with what it looks like on OBS.
Yeah, cause it's like, it's there. It was just at the very tippy top.
Yeah, there's like, on OBS right now in frame, there's like a good half an inch, 3/4 an inch of just before it gets to the top of the banner showing. Like, that's not at all what it looks like on Twitch. I'm glad I looked. Twitch has more of a letterbox thing going on. Which I guess I just never really noticed because, I don't know, OBS must have just said, fuck aspect ratio, why would we bother? Just because where we're streaming to does.
I finally got a bunch of the lights in my living room fixed, so it's like, wow, on the camera I can see it's really yellow and warm now, as opposed to the cold ones that I had before.
Linda's camera couldn't decide what to do earlier.
I turned it on and it was like, it's nighttime in your room, and I'm like, how? I have light.
It can tell. It's artificial.
I got this program, the Logitech Hub or whatever, so that it would keep everything at all the right settings, but it just doesn't like my camera, which is weird, because I believe it's a Logitech camera, so they should be compatible.
You should like each other. Now kiss.
But they're just like, nah.
Yeah. If I could type, it'd be great. Okay. I forgot to actually promote other places. That's okay. We still have a minute. A whole minute.
Time. I need to draw.
Okay, banana. I don't know what happened. I lost a stitch, and then I gained a stitch. It's fine. Where did I lose a stitch? I don't know.
They appear, they disappear. They do what they please.
Mysterious little ladies they are.
I feel like I'm totally missing something. My local game shop guy said he would add a promo channel on our Discord. He has yet to do so.
Oh, awesome.
I think he forgot. But I'll see him tomorrow. Tomorrow is game.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's stop showing everybody on Twitch all of my Discord conversations and actually start the show. You guys will hear nothing for a second.
We got perspective, we got the cool, we got the muscle, and you know we effing rule. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We got the know-how, we got control, we got the knowledge, and we tell you how it rolls. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, tonight. Hell yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 256 of Geek Grills. I'm September, also known as 9 of 12, here with my wonderful hosts, Linda.
Hello, everybody.
And Ray.
Hello.
Our podcast is mostly supported by our patrons, so please go today to patreon.com/grills to help us out. Today's topic is going to be, well, it's that season, right? Comfort food, and we're going to talk about our favorite soups. We'd love to hear about yours. So, what have you two been up to this geeky week?
I can go first, I suppose.
This is why we have notes, so we don't have to say that every time.
It's fine. We don't always go in order.
Yeah, I didn't move myself to the end like I should have because I'm hosting, but, you know.
Meh. So I have finished my pale toe coat here behind me. It's actually a very dark blue. The inside, I'm sitting and I can't reach it, but the inside is this beautiful brocade that's got roses and leaves on it. It's all blue, different shades of blue. I'll see about maybe posting some pictures. But I stabbed myself so many times with pins that I lost count, and needles. There's a reason why my main craft is crochet, because it's soft. Every time I sew something, I'm paying attention to where the needle is going in the fabric and not where my hands are.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, do, ouch! And every single time I would stab myself, I'd pick my hands up like this because I didn't want to bleed on the fabric, just in case. So I was like, okay, am I bleeding? No, okay, I can go back to sewing. But every single time I'd be like, eh!
Oh my gosh. Your coat matches my nails.
Yes.
Super pretty and dark.
So,
So you're gonna wear it like in February, right?
oh,
Right?
yeah. Wearing it in February. I'm not gonna wear it during the summer because I'll die of heat.
Yes.
Any chance I get, I'm gonna wear that. It's got secret pockets inside.
Of course it does.
It's almost reversible, actually, because the inside seams are all finished.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I could wear it inside out. Like,
Depending on how fancy you feel.
depending on how fancy. One of the last props that I ordered for this character came in. It is a potion bottle lamp that
Oh,
changes.
that's cool.
It changes color when you shake it.
So it's gone from like blue to green to red. That's
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah. So I can put that in my little window. The blue shows up real well. The other colors not so much on this camera, but
So cool. Where did you get that?
this is from Target. You have
Okay.
to order it online. They don't have it in the store.
Okay.
They don't have it in the store, but you can order it online. It's basically like a Minecraft collab, so it's all pixelated.
It's
I
still
thought it was
really fitting.
I thought it was adorable. So he's mine now.
Mm.
And then I actually last night because we're recording on a different night, I actually finished my pumpkin that I was working on, that I would have been working on during the show, and instead of the pumpkin, which is now done, I'm working on a banana. Banana. I'm almost done with the banana.
It's very clearly a banana.
Very clearly a banana. It's got, peels. I'm sure they looked at that pattern and was like, how can we make this kid friendly? So that's basically like my entire end of last week and all weekend was making the coat. I have also the mock-up. The mock-up is also wearable. We'll call it wearable. It's made out of all sorts of like Christmas fabric, which is what I had. So it's very Christmassy.
So you're ready for next year too.
I am. And then like the last little thing is I noticed in a bunch of the reference pictures that I was using, a lot of the 1860s ladies would have like a tartan shawl. So I happen to have some tartan fabric, and I just added some lace to the end of it, and I've made myself a little tartan shawl to go over my coat.
Ooh, gorgeous.
So fancy. I like that it's a blue on blue, so it definitely matches with the navy.
Yeah, it's blue. It's like a really dark navy blue, a slightly lighter kind of royal blue, and like a teal almost. It doesn't pick up well on this camera. I should probably get a new camera. But I'm really pleased. That's all of the costuming I'm going to need. I basically have everything. I just need to pack it. I'm ready. I'm now ready for my first game as this character.
I can hear the SpongeBob. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
About you, Ray. What are you up to?
I'm not quite as ready, but hopefully we'll be soon. I did see Avatar 2: The Way of Water over the weekend. Scott has wanted to see it, and I'm kind of indifferent. Like I saw the first one. I've seen a lot of James Cameron films, so I was like, nah, okay. I just need to get out of the house, and I'm not feeling great, so I can go and just sit there and curl up with like my coat / blanket in the theater for like 3 or 4 hours. It didn't feel super long, but there were parts where I'm like, is this really necessary? It's good. Like, I'm glad I saw it in theater because it's just very pretty, and my husband was kind, and we didn't see it in 3D because I hate putting 3D glasses over my actual glasses. So we just saw it at like the high Dolby. You can feel everything, every rumble. And James Cameron does not want you to forget that he directed Titanic. Like, that is very important for you to remember how much he directed Titanic, how much he loves the ocean, and also that whaling is super bad. These are core things. Oh, and family's important. And Sully stick together. Those are the core things of this movie. But I did enjoy it, and as a nerd who, when I was a kid, wanted to be a marine biologist, I was like, Scott had stepped away to go to the bathroom, and he comes back, he's like, what I miss? I'm like, nothing but really pretty water scenes. Like, it's what I imagine if I, so I went snorkeling, but I don't have snorkeling goggles for my prescription. So I can get some that magnify, but it's still not the same. But it was just so crystal, and it just reminded me that first time snorkeling on our honeymoon off the coast of Mexico, and it was just so beautiful, and just all the fishies, and I was just like, you're alien fishies, but you're so pretty.
Yeah, that's most what I see when I look at trailers for that movie. Well, it looks very pretty.
It is very pretty. It's gorgeous. I liked it. Apparently there's 3 to 4 more, which I guess they're gonna like focus more on like the children. Like there's stuff that wasn't fully answered in this one, and you didn't have to, if you remember James Scully or whatever used to be what was a human and put into an Avatar body. That's all you really need to watch Avatar 2. You don't really need to rewatch the first one. You can if you are a diehard Na'vi fan, I guess. Also, the way they incorporated it, so they're not speaking Na'vi the entire time. Like, it starts with a flashback, and he's kind of explaining I did like this because they bookended the movie. So the flashback that starts with you go back to at the end, and everything is kind of like a flashback. But it also gives us a reason why the whole movie doesn't have subtitles. For those of you who hate subtitles, because not all of you like subtitles. I am a weirdo who puts the subtitles on willingly in English films, so because I have a hard time hearing. All right. I also saw The Bad Guy, which was an animated film that came out, I think, last year. It's just a very good heist movie. It was delightful. I think it's like PG, but it's a really good like nod to Ocean's 11. Like specifically, the main character is based off George Clooney from Ocean's 11 and Lupin from Lupin the Third, which yes is an anime because I have to reference anime. So. That was delightful. I do recommend it. It's like, it's not a dumb kids movie. It's one that like both adults and kids will enjoy. Which,
is it Bad Guy or Bad Guys?
The Bad Guys, I believe.
Okay.
Let me make sure.
I found it. 2022.
Yep, animated film. Main character's a wolf, and it's like, it's a snake, a piranha, a tarantula. And
cool.
Yeah, they're just what you would consider bad guys, and it was interesting. And then we like afterwards started talking about like what the world is, because it's not quite Zootopia because there's humans, but it is anthropomorphic. So you're kind of like, well, what's the story here? Like, but yeah, that was really cute. I'm caught up on My Hero Academia, and what was that? The episode that just made me cry. The Last Ones, or
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Yes. Oh my gosh.
I heard a lot of that. I haven't watched it yet, so.
I have a really funny little like tidbit about that, because so Matthew and my mother-in-law watched that together. It's like their show that they're watching right now. So I got done with my coat, and I came busted out of my craft room to go show them right at the end of like one of the gut punch scenes. And they're like, timing. But my coat.
So I've never played it, and I was incorrect. Scott has never played it either. I found out it came out while we were unemployed, which is why we never played it. Uh, but yeah, the latest episode, episode 3, is just very, very good. It is beautiful. Ember, I do recommend watching this show. Like, you don't really need to know anything about the game. Like,
Oh, I
even
know.
talked
I
to
know.
Matt about it.
And I've watched gameplay, and I mean that's it's the story is very much the value of that game to begin with. So I'm really glad to be hearing they did such a good job.
Yeah, apparently they've taken some things that were found problematic or not executed in a good way from the game and have fixed it for the show.
Cool. Yep.
So episode 3, without
Know better,
going
do
into
better.
much, is that just kind of highlights that. So you will want tissues.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Forewarned.
Matt's mom was talking to him about it like afterward, and she was like, "Well, I heard they've already greenlit a second season based on the second thing," and she was like, "So what's that going to be about?" And both of us looked at each other because I've watched gameplay, and so has he. I think he's played it, and we were just like, "Spoilers." Spoilers, can't tell you anything about game 2 without spoiling things.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I wanted, like, I messaged him at lunch and I'm like, I wish work wasn't so busy because I want to talk to you about The Last of Us. And then we had our first game of our Undesirables, which is AKA our Punching Nazis 1939 game. And that was a blast, and I love it, and I cannot wait for it to be on Simulacra TV, because Scott is recording these episodes, and it's just gonna be like a short, like a mini series of this game, and I'm very, very excited.
That is awesome. You're gonna have to get us those links when that happens.
Yeah. I'm super psyched. It's with Abby and Murphy and Ryan, and it's just a good table, and we all kind of went out of our way to make sure, like, it wasn't really hard. We're called the Undesirables because
I love that.
if we were in Germany, no.
Mhm.
For whatever reasons, whatever checkbox you wanted checked. So, it is revenge. I love it. How about you, Ember? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, hold on. I need a second to ban somebody.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oh, it's
you're
just a
doing
bot.
that, my
It's just-
banana's done.
Okay. Oh my god, you're so fast.
Banana.
So fast at that. I can't believe it.
Okay, banned tax exempt Spria. Done. Like, really?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Like, no. Please, fuck off, bot.
Sir and or madam.
All right. So, I made jerky and it turned out really good. And weirdo that I am, I like took it out to the bar with me, hang out with my friends, and I was handing it out to people. And I was playing music bingo. That's what it was. It was last Wednesday, or yeah, because D&D got canceled, and I handed out to this guy I had just met because they didn't know any of the songs, and I was using Shazam, and so he just came over. We ended up hanging out with these people and helping them, and he was like, "This is so good. This is like, do you want some venison?"
You're like, yes.
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 I had a freezer full. I get this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, can I buy it? Do you want to barter? He's like, you could just have it. Like, make me some jerky and we're good. I'm like, yes, please. And I gave him my phone number, and that was really awesome. And then, you know, we hung out, me and my friends. And then next thing I know, that guy's girlfriend's like, we're getting kicked out and banned. I'm like, what? We don't know. The owner apparently called, saw us on camera, told the staff that, and they're kicking us out. I'm like, you've been hanging out with us all night? Like, I don't know what I missed. I don't know what I missed. They were outside for a little bit. I don't know. But I haven't heard from them either, so I think it might be yet another missed venison connection here in Western North Carolina. If anyone is listening, help me. I miss it. I grew up with it. And that kind of leads into a couple of things. It'll lead into our topic, but it leads into that I also did a chili cook-off. And the first time I made chili after I moved here was an experience because I spent like hours just like dicking around with it, trying to figure out what was missing, what was wrong. I couldn't, and it all of a sudden was like, it's because it's not venison. I can't fix that. Like, that's what I always grew up, like the missing thing from just using like beef and stuff was not, it was, but I have since adjusted. I mean, I've been here 20 years and I made a really good chili. Apparently not so much what Southerners like. I didn't place very well, but it was good. And it was good enough that despite placing like 10th of 13, I learned a lot, so that was a good experience. Mine was almost completely gone. Like, I snatched a bowl's worth to bring home with me and closed my pot. Mm-hmm. And that was not true of any other selection on the table. So the crowd liked it.
Yeah.
Just not the 20 judges, or they marked their cards wrong. I don't know. Chili is very, very subjective. Mm-hmm. Everyone's used to something different. Everybody grew up with something different. People have individual tastes, but they made as fair as they could. They had like 20 different judges, and the guy who ran it, he's like, honey, there were scores all over the place. Like, the judges were like, the same chili would get like the lowest score from one judge and the highest from other ones, and
yeah,
but I mean, no excuses. I know it was good. People ate it and they loved it. And
did you have beans?
Huh?
Were there beans?
Yes, there were beans. Yes, there were beans. This is not Texas. Everywhere else, beans are. I was told by some Southerners, like, because I made that point. I was like, so if we have any Texas judges, just anything with beans is disqualified, right? And they're like, chili has beans. All chili has beans. And it was like a chorus of people attacking me. Like, I didn't say it doesn't.
No. I'm used to chili with beans. My husband hates it, which is the only reason I ask.
They're just completely different things.
I've just given up on it. It just doesn't happen when he makes chili, but he makes really good chili, so it's fine.
Yeah, I did learn Southerners, at least around here, they seem to, they're very used to a cook it for like ever and ever until it's not red anymore, it's not brown, and you cannot discern any vegetables except the beans.
Yeah.
Seems to have been the preferred thing, is brown and like the spiciest one on the table I could only eat 2 bites of one.
Well, I mean, yours reminds me of the one time I was able to cook with venison. I took it to ATE and I made venison chili. And I too, somebody was whoever was working behind the bar when they put it out, because it had been cooking for like 12 hours in the slow cooker. They saved a bowl for me, and it was good because by the time I got in there, it was gone. They were like, "Here's your bowl," and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, if I can find a venison connection, even just down here, I will reach out to you. When I worked in North Georgia, it was a lot easier because there were a lot more active hunters up there around Cumming, but less so now that I'm in the metro area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep making connections and then losing them. Dang it. Dang it. Somebody just, I don't know. Well, one of my sons is actually, because Connor's inheriting some guns, gonna probably be hunting with his family he married into, so I have no doubt he will share with me. Because he will also be wanting to learn how to cook it, because we didn't have it very often as he was growing up. Since he was little, anyway. So he was like 5 when we moved here. 6? I don't know. So anyway, that leads into our topic. It is comfort food season, folks. Everybody's settling in with their stews and their mac and cheese and, ooh, the crock pots. And nowadays, the Instapots. And what do you got? So we're going to talk about some of our favorite soups. And for time, respect for time, we have picked like 2 soups each that we're going to talk about. I will share all of these recipes on our Patreon page. It's probably a lot to put on our regular webpage, so please go to patreon.com today. Those they'll just get it a few days ahead of time. Eventually it'll be free for everyone, but our main website post, I'll just put links to the ones that actually have online links. So, who wants to start? I already talked, well, I didn't really talk about my chili, and that's not one of mine anyway, because soup and chili, we're not going to go in the soup stew argument. Who's going first?
I can go first.
Okay. And why don't we do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, or do you want to do it in
that's fine.
pairs?
Okay.
Okay.
We can do one after the other. Sure. I'll talk about.
Let me guess. Redwall is yours.
Yeah.
Of course.
My Redwall cookbook. So I'm kind of a weirdo, and I like having physical recipes. So if I find one online, I actually will generally print it out. It's a thing, I guess, because I don't want my phone to be next to like ingredients. So anyway, I'm a weirdo. So I have a lot of cookbooks. But this one, it's from the Redwall series, so it's something that you can read about and then you can actually eat it. So it's called Shrimp and Hot Root Soup, basically a spicy shrimp soup. And let me find the page it is on. It's adorable because this book it's half story, half recipes, and it's divided up by season. So it's got seasonal recipes in it. So this is it's a winter recipe because it's warming. Obviously, it's hot. 74, I think. Close. I'm gonna have to look at. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't memorize. There it is. 73. I was close. So basically this calls for butter, onions, leeks, which I didn't knowingly eat leeks until I made this recipe. Because if they were in something, I didn't recognize them. Vegetable stock, potatoes, curry powder, salt and pepper, and then shrimp and milk. So most of the recipes in this book are basically vegetarian, because it's supposed to be things eaten by woodland creatures.
Mm-hmm.
This one has shrimp in it, so it's not vegetarian, but like most of the other ones are.
I was really wondering what the hot root was, and apparently they mean the leeks.
Curry. No, the curry powder or chili powder.
But that's
either or.
Not a root.
Well, hot root, yeah. Root is the leek.
Oh.
Shrimp is shrimp. Root is the leek, or potatoes, because it's got potatoes in it, or the onion. Onion is also in there. So basically, you like cook the leeks and the onions in butter, and then you add like the stock and the potatoes and the chili and the salt and pepper, and then you simmer that for like 20 minutes, and then you add the shrimp in the milk and heat them until they're heated through, and then you're supposed to eat it with crusty bread. It says serve with crusty bread. It's delicious, like, and it is spicy. You only use like a teaspoon of curry or chili powder, but it warms you up real quick. I was surprised at how, like, because it's not like a in-your-face spice. It's a spice that builds slowly over time.
So you bite by bite.
You've eaten half your bowl, and then you're like, why are my lips burning? But it's really, really good.
I like the sneaky heat.
Yes. Because it is. Like, when I first made this, and we were eating it, I was like, I guess that it's just, hot root. It's supposed to be like, they're always complaining in the book about how spicy it is. And I was like, meh. And then like I was like, oh.
There it is.
There it is.
It's funny because it says right in the description, it's rather mild.
Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, sure, we'll go with that. But it's very good. The recipe that I have is like for 2 to 4 people, so you can easily like make huge vats of it if you'd like. But I really enjoy it, so this is one of my.
I'm gonna mute my
favorite.
mic while I print the recipe.
But it's very good. I enjoy it a lot. And I do recommend, like, if you're looking for like vegetarian recipes, despite the one that I picked being something that has shrimp in it, so that has like meat in it, most of the ones in here are vegetarian, and they're quite good. Lots of potatoes. Lots of potato recipes in this book.
Okay. Not paleo.
No.
But tis I mean, Redwall is written by a lovely Englishman. It's very English, or was he
They're
I
all
actually
about them
love
taters.
Scottish? English Scottish? By a UK person.
They're so potatoey.
So potatoey. I can't remember if he was actually from England proper, or if he was from
Okay.
one of the others. So I just want to be I don't want to misidentify him. He was a lovely man. May he rest in peace. So
Okay.
that's my first one.
What you got for us, Ray?
Alright, so mine was labeled vegetarian vegetable soup, but I fixed it because beef broth is not vegetarian last I
What
checked.
is wrong with people? That's
I know, right? So actually this is a recipe my mom would make when I was in, I think she started making it when I was in middle school, and I'm like pretty sure it's the cabbage soup, diet cabbage soup, but I freaking loved it. So she would keep making it for me even after she had given up on that diet fad. It's really simple. It makes a lot. I made it once, and I literally had frozen soup that I was still giving away like 2-3 years later, because I just had so much of it. I went through all my Tupperware. So definitely feel free to cut this recipe down. But it's a small head of green cabbage, not just a regular head. That was my mistake. 1 bunch of celery, 16-ounce bag of carrots peeled, 1 large onion, 1 can of green beans, 1 large can of diced tomatoes, 1 can of beef broth, and 1 package of dried onion soup mix. Lipton or equivalent, whatever.
Which is also not vegetarian.
Also not vegetarian, so I just renamed it vegetable soup. Because you just cut it all up, throw it all in the pot, and add enough water till everything is covered, and just let it cook from there. It says 30 minutes over low heat. I think I just let it go until like things were softer, to like how much I wanted, and that was it. And like, I would take this to school with my little Sailor Moon thermos. Yes, I had one, and that would be like my lunch. I loved this soup, so it's a pretty good, just standard vegetable soup, not vegetarian.
Not vegetarian. Yummy.
What about you, Ember?
Well, yeah. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I'll be posting the link to Spark Recipes. It's something I invented. It actually is vegetarian. Well, sort of. There's milk in this recipe, but you don't even need it. And I have a lot of notes. Anybody who's going to try to make it from the recipe online, there's a lot of notes because I have totally shifted it over the years. The initial recipe I made because I actually had a vegan guest who was coming, and I altered a previous recipe I had that had butter and milk and stuff in it, and that's where the vegetable broth gets added. But it's a it also has extra ingredients. Like I never put the carrots in it and stuff, but this development came from a recipe contest I entered, and I had to use an immersion blender because it was sponsored by like Wolfgang Puck and his branded blender and QVC. So I added stuff to it when I added like a bunch of spaghetti squash I had in the house and carrots, because then I would have to blend it to get the texture. But you can seriously just use the butternut squash, and it's butternut coconut soup. Because it's butternut squash, and you could just cut it in half and roast it and scoop it out and use it. In the recipe it says like cube it up and roast it, which gives you a more roasty flavor, but you don't need to go through all that. But it's got garlic and a bunch of fresh ginger and coconut milk and some vegetable broth, and it's just a matter of once you cook the squash, sauteing the garlic and ginger, and then putting everything in a pot together and as much vegetable broth to the texture you want, and it is so good. I won a bunch of prizes. I didn't win the overall contest, but I got close enough to the top that they sent me all kinds of crap. And one thing I love about this is it's good hot or cold.
Ooh, yum.
So this yummy, gingery, sweet butternut squash is something I use to like try to sate my sweet tooth to begin with. But with that coconut milk, and you can, if you want it to be spicy, just put a bunch of more ginger in it. Like sometimes I'll do that. I'll make it for other people, but then I'll put a bunch of powdered ginger in at the end to give it a spice. But then I could take it out of the fridge the next day and just eat it cold. So it's something I made up, and it became a staple that I've been making for... You see, the first one I made was for a witchy potluck in Buffalo, and then I modified it to be vegetarian. So, 25 years I've been making this. So, yay. Neat. It's a literally award-winning recipe, so there's that.
So good.
It is, and it's a lot easier than that recipe looks, but I think there's notes that I put in later in the comments, like, you don't have to do all that, just here.
Yeah, that is like one of the things I do like about, like, oh, it's a bunch of canned stuff I throw in, then...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an amazing vegetable chowder recipe that belonged to my friend Storm forever and ever ago, but I rarely make it because it's just too many steps. And like the strangest, it's magical and it's delicious, but like you literally have to put those vegetables in that order or it's not right. I'm like, damn it! Like I just want to dump it all in. So what? Tell us about this broccoli soup, Linda.
Yeah, you got to do the spell right, or else it doesn't work.
The what?
This one actually,
yeah,
exactly. You got to do the spell right.
Yeah.
This one actually, I turned right to it and kind of showed like. So this one's from a book that I got. Who bought this for me? Somebody bought this for me for a gift. It may have been a wedding gift. I don't remember. But it's called Slow Cooker Quick Fixes, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it's basically it takes 15 minutes to get everything started, and then you put it in the slow cooker, and then you cook it for however long it needs. But like the actual like getting things together only takes about 15 minutes for each recipe, give or take. So it's a slow cooker recipe, and it's a 3-cheese broccoli soup. It's very tasty. I didn't mean to choose 2 cream based. Well, the other one has milk in it, but 2 cream soups.
Comfort food. It's fine.
Yeah. So basically, this one is like butter, obviously, because all cooking is made better with butter.
Oh, it's by Southern Living.
Yeah, it's by the
Cool.
Southern Living folks.
Yeah.
All-purpose flour, evaporated milk, chicken broth, salt and pepper, broccoli, obviously, and then they just say an 8-ounce package of pasteurized prepared cheese product, cubed. So you can just
Velveeta.
whatever.
Yeah.
whatever cheese product you want.
Merc
for
and
that.
cheese.
Yeah, Merkin. Whatever
Full
comes
of
in the little cubes. When I want extra cheddar, I
tube.
I use the cube cheddar because the next thing is like more cheddar and then Parmesan.
Hmm.
So basically, you basically make a roux to start with. So like butter with the onion, but then you add the like flour and then like very very basic kind of thing, and then stir in the milk. And then once you've made that, I guess it wouldn't be a roux because you don't add the cheese yet. Anyway, the cooking. After you've made like the base, you put it into the slow cooker, and put in the broccoli that goes next. Yeah, you put in everything else except for the cheese. And you let it cook for like 4 hours on low. And once it's gone 4 hours on low, then you put the cheese in and stir it until the cheese melts, and then you serve it immediately, and it's very delicious. Quite good. When I just want a face full of cheddar, I just use all cheddar all the time for the 3 cheeses, so it's just cheddar soup. But you can use 3 different cheeses. You're supposed to use 3 different cheeses if you want it to be bougie, I guess. But I mean, broccoli cheddar is, or broccoli cheese, not even broccoli cheddar, broccoli cheese soup is kind of my favorite soup. Like, if I go to Panera, I get it every time because I get it in the bread bowl.
Yep.
Bread bowl broccoli cheddar is delicious. This is about on level with the Panera stuff, in my opinion. But it did spend 4 hours in a slow cooker, so there's that. So that's the other one that I really like. And it's actually, again, the prep doesn't take very long. Because you're just like, alright, whisk that together real quick, slam it into the slow cooker, and off you go.
Yep. It's magical.
Yep. I really should make more soups. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't cooked this one. My mom has made this one for me before, but I have not actually cooked it in my house. And a lot of my soups are literally just the Campbell chunky sirloin home style vegetable. That's what I grew up on. That is like my go-to soup. So but this one is Hungry Girls the Whole Enchilada Chicken Soup. Which I think Hungry Girls is like a specific site dedicated to like yummy food that's also like low calorie to help.
It is.
So, but it's a really tasty soup. My mom was kind enough to make one omission, which is the corn, because allergies. So for this soup, you would add a cup of frozen white or yellow corn. Not my version though. 3 cups of fat-free chicken broth. 1 1/4 cup finely chopped celery. 1/2 cup sweet yellow onion. Vidalias. 3 cups green enchilada sauce. 1 15-ounce can of puree pumpkin. It says pure pumpkin. I should have puree. 10 ounces cooked and shredded or chopped, whatever, skinless lean chicken breast for your protein. And then optionally you can add some hot sauce or shredded fat-free cheddar cheese, yuck, or crushed baked tortilla chips. I'm sorry, fat-free cheese just tastes bad. Not as bad as vegetarian cheese, because that is an abomination.
You mean vegan? You mean vegan cheese?
It is awful. It is the
Yes.
worst stuff. I've tried it multiple times. Soy does not make a cheese. Soybeans can do a lot, but not cheese. Anyway. So anyway, you go ahead, you bring a pot to a low boil, bring the broth to a low boil, add the celery and onions, simmer for about 5 minutes, until it's get a little tender. Stir in the sauce and the enchilada sauce and pumpkin, and then once it returns to the boil, that's when you add the chicken and corn. Mix it well, cook for like 3 to 5 minutes until hot. Add hot sauce if you want, or not, it's your soup. Serve, and if you like, top with whatever you like. It serves 9, each cup's 105 calories. Yeah, Weight Watchers value of 3, which I also used to do in college, so.
Yep. Yep.
This looks really good. I think I'm gonna make this, and I would like put a dollop of like sour cream or yogurt, I think, on top instead of cheese.
That's what we did. That's what my mom did when she made it for me. Actually, I don't think she put it on there. I think I went to the fridge and just grabbed some because I am, as the whitest of white people, I will put sour cream on anything. So, but it's really good. I'm sorry, like sour cream waffles are really good, and I will die on that hill.
That'd be really good on pumpkin waffle in particular. I love this. I think this would be good with like red enchilada sauce too, looking at it. And I will probably try to do. And you know, it's funny because I see it on menus. Like, or people talk about taco soup, and I'm like, ew. But enchilada soup, I'm fine with. Like Progresso makes, or used to make one, and it's low carb and everything. And I used to buy that. I loved it. And this looks fairly close to it. I guess I didn't think of green enchilada sauce. But I'll take this opportunity as well to plug Spark People again, because that's where my recipe I put there forever ago ended up, just because I needed to write it down. And I'm going to start using it again, because I went looking for your recipe, this the Hungry Girls recipe, I should say, to properly credit. And when I Googled it, it came with the Hungry Girl book and the website and other recipes. But somebody put the Hungry Girl, the whole enchilada chicken soup recipe into Spark Recipes. And it was exactly like, it was as if you were reading it. Because the link you put in the notes, it's one of your docs, and I did not have permission to look at it.
I'm sorry. I thought I fixed it so it was anybody who had the link. Damn it. Okay.
No, that's fine. I mean, we don't want anybody to go poking your stuff either. But another thing I love about Spark Recipes, and I think I'm going to sit down and have another slew of putting my favorite ones in there, is you put in what you're putting in your stuff, and it does the nutritional info for you based on the ingredients and the portions, how many you say they are. And when I'm diet tracking, that's fantastic. And it'll let you do stuff like with your app. At that point, it's online. So you can just grab the links, put it in whatever tracking you're using, and it'll pull the nutritional info for you. So and your soup is there, and I'll be able to just give people that link.
Yeah, no, I actually, it just dawned on me because, like, I started tracking again literally today with People One Health, which used to be Spark People.
Oh.
What I went to immediately after Weight Watchers because it's free.
Yeah, I use the free version of MyFitnessPal, and then they took away a lot of features, and it's kind of not worth it. But I use for the recipe stuff and food track. Like I love Spark People, and I met people. It's a really good online community, or at least it used to be. I'll see what's still there. I haven't been there in 10 years, but like I met an Indian guy who was giving me Indian recipes. It was amazing, just sharing stuff. But I don't know how much that community is still intact. But I guess we'll find out, and I'm going to put more recipes in here. So my second soup is hot and sour soup. Originally, this is my recipe now. That's all I can say. I remember being at my grandmother's house, and it was in some magazine, and it was like an ad that had a recipe, right? So initially, sorry, my cat is attacking everything. Initially, I believe it was Swanson, like, chicken broth ad, and it had this recipe, and I was like, ooh, I want to make hot and sour soup, because I loved hot and sour soup, from restaurants and stuff. And then we made it, and it was good, and then my mom just started getting the stuff, and we'd make it all the time. Well, over the years, I vegetarianized that as well. I actually prefer it with a vegetable stock rather than chicken stock, but I mean, you could use either. I've completely eliminated the cornstarch situation. It's like the thing I like least about hot and sour soup. Like, because it's got, you put a cornstarch slurry and it thickens up in that gelatinous slime. And I don't know why restaurants keep doing it, especially because if it sits there all day, it literally gets gelatinous, Ugh. So, yeah, I'm now also spoiled for any restaurant ones. All the Chinese restaurants around here use beef broth, which is just like way off. If you're going to make it, go ahead, put a little corn, starch in if you want. But I prefer vegetable or chicken broth. And then going to like actual Chinatown restaurants in Toronto and stuff, I learned over the years that it's a very everything in the fridge soup. Mm-hmm. Like, that's really what it is. You've got, as long as you've got your soy sauce and your vinegar proportioned right, I've seen it where there's just like obviously freaking Tabasco thrown in it and stuff. And I was like, all right, well, this is different and still quite good. The initial recipe also had like thinly sliced pork in it, which would also be good. I usually just don't bother. So I use 3 cans of vegetable stock, like 14-ounce cans, but usually about 2 boxes, 1.5 boxes is about that much. Like I usually buy boxes of stock now. I like those, especially Aldi. They're economical. Half pound of mushrooms. You can use whatever kind you like, sliced up. I spoiled myself. I found like dried shiitakes in the store once, and I've never gone back. Shiitakes are amazing in this soup, and if you've got fresh ones, great. Dried ones are pretty easy to find, and they hydrate so perfectly in this soup. And if they're dehydrated, they actually add a little to the depth. But yeah, so it's got a half cup of bamboo shoots, which is just a little can of bamboo shoots. 5 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 pound of firm tofu, just cube up, and an egg. So if you want, and also you want like about 1/4 cup of sliced green onions, and about a couple teaspoons of toasted sesame oil, which everyone should already have in their cupboard for any given purpose. Sesame oil will change your life. But all you do is you bring the broth to a boil, you throw in the mushrooms, the bamboo shoots, the vinegar, the soy, the peppers, you simmer it for 5 minutes, you throw in the tofu, you bring it back to a boil, and then you take a beaten egg and you just add it in real slow, just kind of drizzle it in. Just let that sit a second, and then you stir it once or twice, and it does that magical egg drop hot and sour soup thing that everybody thinks is like super hard, and it is not. It is literally drizzling an egg into hot stuff. If you want dissolved cornstarch, like 3 tablespoons of cornstarch in some about 1/4 cup of cold water, and add it after that if you do like that thicker texture to your hot and sour. And then you garnish by throwing some green onions and drizzling a little sesame oil on the top. So this is our cold cure in the house. This is it. It's gonna make you feel better. It's gonna loosen things up. You can taste it no matter how bad you are off, almost.
COVID test.
Yeah, I'm like, hasn't been COVID tested, and boy, that was a thing. But it's really easy and super fast, and you can get all this stuff in the supermarket, and it's better than you're going to get from the restaurant. Like recently, I was sick, and Vic was sick, and we're the only 2 in the house that eat soup. And my husband kindly went to and got Chinese, and he got hot and sour soup. And Victor and I both tried it and ended up throwing it away.
Oh. Just not right.
It was really, really thick, and it had a beef base, and it was, and what was they did a substitution. They didn't even use bamboo shoots. They had carrots instead, which would be a fine addition, but not instead of.
Yeah, it's not. The texture isn't. Never mind.
Yeah.
flavor.
I mean, and it sweetens it a little, so it threw off. Like I ate
Yeah.
some of it by throwing more vinegar in, and I would attribute that to the carrots. And somebody should have known better. So that's it. That's all our recipes, all our
Yeah.
favorite soup recipes. I'm sure we have more and lots of good suggestions. I love Linda's cookbook suggestion. I'm putting different stuff I've been collecting through the episode. Some will be links to recipes, some will be text of recipes, some will be links to the cookbooks we got them from. If either of you want to add, I'd be happy to add some cookbook recommendations myself, or
I
if
feel
people
like we
are out there
should-
want some,
Yeah.
let us know.
I feel
Yeah,
like we
no,
should
I've
do
got
this.
a ton of cookbooks.
I feel like we should do this again for like desserts. Like our favorite desserts that
Oh.
we make.
We could totally do that.
Wait, what do I make? That's
I mean,
different
people
from what
think
I
Geek
do.
Grills is about food anyway.
Lean in.
Wouldn't be the first time it would confuse somebody.
I'll tell you how I make the giant trifles that I make for my family gatherings.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do love a good trifle.
and I have so many nerdy cookbooks, but I also am trying new softwares right now to collate my cookbook because, I don't know, Apple decided we're not doing Apple Works anymore. So I had all my family's recipes because I was sick of them asking me for them. I confiscated everybody's recipe cards and I put them all in a database, and then that program doesn't exist anymore. But thankfully, one of my nerdy kids recovered the files at least, but now it's just a giant text file. But the food people in the Frog Pants Network and their Discord channel have been kind enough to share some software tips with me, and I'll be wanting to let people know what a better thing to use once I get this sorted out, because I am the keeper of the recipes for my family. I give them all binders that are sorted, and once in a while, the good recipes, those pages get dirty and you gotta print it out again. So I do still want a digital copy that is easily shareable for this paper book we all have on our shelves at home. So chime in by emailing us at geekgrills@gmail.com or tweet us at geekgrills and let us know your favorite recipes or what you'd like to hear from us about it. So what are you grills anticipating coming up this week or next 2 weeks, let's say, because next week we've got production meeting.
Yeah. I guess getting back to other projects now that my code is done. I have this bad habit of like hyper focusing, especially on sewing projects. Like if you notice,
That's not a bad habit. That's how you end up with not having 15 half finished things.
But it's only with sewing. Like I can have like 3 crochet projects going at once. There's that pile back there is crochet projects. But like when I get to a sewing thing, it's like my brain is like, this is the only thing you can do for the next 3 days.
When hyperfocus works for you.
Yeah. But I can now get back to other projects. Like my pile of crochet. My goal is to get through all of these books before my first market day in May.
Ah.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see if that speed you were talking about helps me. Now, to be fair, some of them I'm not doing every single project, but I am doing multiple projects out of all of them. And some of them I am doing every single project in the book, or I will at least attempt.
Alrighty.
Goals.
Goals.
Maybe not attainable goals, but goals.
How
about you, Ray?
Apparently breaking my Fitbit. No, it's my band came off with like a little plastic bit, and I was trying to fix it, and then some metal part flung out.
Oh,
so
no.
that'll be fun. And it's fine. It's somewhere in the house. But aside from that, because that literally just happened, Hooray. I
Hooray.
actually have my first aerial class scheduled for this Thursday, so I'm
Cool.
super excited. Which is basically, you got the silks hanging from the ceiling, and you pull yourself up, and I get to swing around like a monkey, and I'm super excited about it, because if there's one thing I miss from gymnastics, it is swinging like a monkey. I'm just straight honest there. I hope to nail down the food recipe shopping list for ATE, and just figure that out. I'm not alone, so I have somebody else to coordinate with, but it also means I have somebody else that I have to get with to be like, hey. And that's, I don't know why. They're very sweet. I know them, so I don't know why it's so hard for me to actually, like, hit the messenger button sometimes, but it is. But it'll be fine. We'll get that worked out. We actually tentatively have the menu. We just need the recipes and the shopping list done.
Cool.
What
Well,
about you?
well, I'm hoping we find time in the next couple of weeks to test out the new. There's a Twitch guesting feature that they. It should make everything really easy, so I'm not like juggling around all these changing settings, because it's somehow handled a lot of it remotely through Twitch, is my understanding, and it would be like pull you guys in as guests. So all that fiddling with, you guys would be able to hear my bumpers
Awesome
without,
intros.
Discord going, no, you can't come over here. I'm doing a DJ for a burlesque show. I'm pretty excited about that on the 11th, I think. Is that before our next show? I think it is. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm excited. They added me to their production Facebook page the other day, so I will be sharing all of their show details. And I guess that's about it right now. D&D tomorrow. Yay. It'll be my return from COVID, and not contagious this time, because I went back to D&D and then went positive again after an ass, but whatever.
It wasn't intentional. I
No.
think at this point we all understand that these things happen.
Yeah, this testing's so far apart, negative, what the hell. Anyway, remember folks, no one else got it, so we're good.
Yeah.
Remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. Our next one will be on February 13th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We don't know everything we're covering next month because we've got our production meeting next Monday. That's why we won't be going live. We do know that our book club will be on the 27th. So start reading now. We're reading Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, and I'm loving it.
Ooh, and in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub us for free every month on Twitch.
Free, go now.
Another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. You can check out what topics we're doing in the next month on our schedule once we get it updated below on our Twitch page. And if you're a patron, you can always suggest a topic for us. We'll do it, and we would love to hear your ideas.
And where can we find you all on the interwebs?
You can find me in my squeaky chair on Instagram under the name madcap_miss. That's MISC. You can check out my website at madcapm.com.
You can find me on Instagram under DappleDam. And that's it.
All right. And easiest thing to do for me is go to 9of12.com. That's NINEOF12, and that'll point you to all the places. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
GG!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Cool. Done.
I'm gonna get down here. Aha! I
think
see
I'll
you, tiny
just-
metal bit.
Who's on?
I found you.
It's like I
How
had
is
to
no
find
one
it before the
on?
cats.
No one's on. I'm
on.
confused.
I'm on.
Well, it's Tuesday.
Well,
our normal
no.
time.
I mean,
Oh,
like I was
to
gonna raid
raid.
and Great Night Attack is supposed to be on. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna be opposite then. And then we got raided by Slow Mo B, and I'm like, is there something I'm missing? Yeah, they're not on.
Ooh.
All right, I gotta hit the Discord and see if everyone's okay. Like Mike got off early, so he wouldn't be conflicting with them. How can they be on and no one knows why? All right, but we got raided. That was,
Hey.
I saw
couple.
that earlier
Yeah.
before the bot.
Yeah. All right.
What did I?
I'm gonna stop the stream.
Ah, God